I just want to welcome Angela here today. I'm so excited to talk to you. I just learned something miraculous transpired with you that you had come to four of my group healing sessions, and I don't know which one of them it transpired in or what happened in each. You attended the group sessions, you told me what you were looking for to be healed, but you never told me what was healed that you needed healed, which is really, really cool. So I'm just going to hand this over to you, kind of let us know what transpired, what brought you here, to have a healing session, and then what miraculously happened.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Deborah. Back in April of last year, 2024, I went to an ayahuasca ceremony. And when I was there, ayahuasca had told me was that I had I had cancer in my head, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is baloney. Like, you just showed me this huge mission I'm on, and how am I supposed to do that if I have cancer? Are you just joking? Like, is it this little spot on my head that I keep picking at? She's like, no, that's just age. And I was like, well, what? Like. So I was having this joke with her. She's like, I'm not joking. And I said, well, can you just get it out of my body right now through purging or however? She said, no, you have to figure this out on your own. And I was like, oh man. And I have four children, single mom. So I was like, how am I supposed to navigate this? Right. I came home. I didn't mention it to anyone. I went to the doctor. We talked about it. And I didn't want to tell my kids because it would freak them out. So I was just one day sitting here watching the Gaia Network, came across one of your episodes. We were talking about the spiritual surgery. And it really resonated with me. My whole body got goosebumps. My chest started like palpitating. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. So then I looked you up online after the episode and I noticed you had these group healings. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give this a go. And so I did the group healing in June of 2024. And in my intention, I just put healing overall in my health, just do a body scan, clear things out. And at that time, I set like an altar for myself in my bedroom. I did meditation. I laid on the bed during the time that you would be doing the recording to connect into that space. And during that time, without even hearing anything, I felt so much in my body already. It was going through everything. At one point, there was another part too that I had put my hands up. I just felt obligated to put my hands facing the ceiling because they were igniting my hands and my heart chakras in my hands. So I put my hands up and I thought, well, that's crazy. I don't even know what she's saying right now. So, and then it goes throughout my whole body, and they literally were doing a scan of my body during the time I was just holding space. And that in itself made me tired and was incredible. And then I got your recording afterwards, and I listened to it about an hour and a half after to give myself some anchoring grounding. And then when I listened to it, it was just profound. Like, I thought I had already felt everything, but then they made me feel it twice as much. And during the recording, you had even said at one point, I'm being asked for everyone to put their hands facing the ceiling. And I was like, oh my God. I started bawling, my arms started shaking. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is amazing. But then it got even more interesting, and I'm getting goosebumps right now through my whole body just talking about it. At one point, you moved up to the head, and in my head, I by that time too, I kept getting these pulls in the back of my right head skull. In the shower, if I moved too wrong, like this thing was pulling on me, and so I always had this like achy dullness. But I started feeling this like movement of energy up to my head and my face, specifically the right side. And then I heard you say the words, oh, it hurts so bad. Oh my, just the back of my right head just hurts so bad. Like something's pulling, and oh, my face is moving. And when you were saying that, my face started gyrating and shaking, like right behind, and you even said behind the eye, and I felt it behind my eye, and my eye was switching, like shaking, and my whole face, this side of my face, from here down to here, to the back of my ear, to the back of my, it just felt like things were just being slowly, like, if I had my hands and they just like pulled out, and then I had this throbbing pain right there. It wasn't super, it was just throbbing, dull ache. And everything was just shaking. And my eye was like my eyeball was shaking, everything. And then you said, and this is cancer that somebody doesn't really know they have. And it wasn't in their intention. And I just started bawling, and I knew that was me. I just knew you were talking directly to me. And then I saw my guide say, yes, this is you. This is how we get rid of it. And then from that moment on, I had a couple hypnotherapy sessions to do a body scan. But they said, yes, my higher self came in, two different hypnotherapists, two different sessions, saying that it's totally free and clear. And I had the energetic removal that I was supposed to have with you. So thank you.
It's undeniable when you feel energy like that. And then when you hear me going through it at the same time you're going through it, it becomes like that aha moment. And that we're
Absolutely.
really connecting as one. Even though I did this session an hour and a half prior, that energy held for you. Didn't
Yeah.
matter when. And when you listen to it, it was like I was going through it again at that exact moment you were listening to it.
Yeah. It was so wild and so beautiful and so powerful.
Yeah,
So
and you also wrote like, could you smell it?
yeah, so I have all my clairsenses, so I could smell it. My mom went through cancer in 2012 when I was her caretaker. Well, 2011, and she passed away in 2012. And when I was taking care of her, that smell of cancer was just like, I'll never for even to this day I can smell it. Like if someone's in the grocery store and I'm like, oh no, like, and so I could smell it come out and I could see it. I could obviously feel it. And I sensed the knowing of like, yes. And my guides are like, yes, this is it. This is you. She's talking about, and this is what we're doing for you. So it was amazing.
That's very profound
Very
that
much so.
that you could smell it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I can't smell on a daily basis all the time. So the fact that I could smell it at that moment was also profound because it definitely came through like just another confirmation from my guides, like, yes, this is what we're doing today.
And then you look back and you think, even though you were smelling it, your mom's cancer going, oh, this is awful. I don't want to smell this. It
Yeah,
ended up being a gift,
it was. Yeah,
right? Otherwise, you
yeah,
would have no idea what you were smelling.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, I got goosebumps the entire time you talked too. That's just
Yeah.
profound. And then you came to other healing sessions, three more.
I did. I came for other things. They weren't all physical. Sometimes they were just energetic blockages to allow me to step into my higher self a lot or to the next path of my journey. And then I also re-listened to them down the road, weeks, months, days later, different sessions because I know what each session was for. And so if I'm having a hard time with that again, I will go back and re-listen to that particular session of the four to then, and every time I hear something different. So a lot of times my guys will put me out, they'll knock me out. It's like, oh, you've already heard this before. And then it's like, oh, wake up. They're like someone's slapping me energetically, like, wake up, you have to listen to this one part. And then I'll listen to this one part. And sure enough, that is the part that I'm needing in that moment.
I love that. And I love how each session builds on itself, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
different reasons. When you say that you listen to it and you hear things the second and third time, oftentimes people say that. And I say that the energy never loses its power or essence. So it's like having a healing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a good little library. I keep it on my phone so that I can attach to it no matter where I'm at if I'm traveling. And then I can just sink into it, fall asleep and hear a couple of things that I'm supposed to hear.
That's beautiful. And I like that you use other healing modalities too to validate you or to help you on different levels. I think people need to know
Yeah.
like that doesn't have to be one way, right?
No, yeah, I use Reiki, I use hypnotherapy, I use plant medicine, I use meditation, float tanks, nature,
Right.
so many things, dance, movement, astrology.
You're using all of these different tools to embrace yourself, to love yourself. That helps balance ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm still kind of have a toe still in the corporate world and single mom, and I'm still moving through this world and I have to find love for myself. And I think we all do. And it's very hard for us busy, in all these different directions to stop and say, what about me? I need to take care of me so I can take care of everyone else around
That's
me.
true. Honor yourself. And I think you did that. You showed up in these groups and you did something for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel it and I love them. I'm so glad that you offer them for people.
Think about it too, like you wrote to me certain intentions, but
Yeah.
not all the intentions, because I didn't know anything about this cancer, nothing.
I didn't specify because I hadn't anchored into that myself at that time. It
You
was
didn't
still
own
fairly
it, which is
new. No,
great.
I didn't own it because it
Yeah,
was still really new for me. And I didn't know, I was kind of scared. So,
right, right. So it's like I'm not going to give power to it. I'm not going to
what I
voice
was
it,
trying not to do. Yeah, I wasn't going
right? And but yet God knew what you needed and he went to that area. And that makes it even more profound for you because like how did she know? How did that happen? And
yeah,
it was you knew it was for you. You just knew it
yeah.
was for you.
Oh,
And
yeah. No, there was nothing that told me otherwise.
people that come from groups, they can tell me what they want to put in my prayers for
Mhm.
them, but I don't limit it just to that because we never know what else can show up like it did for you.
Mhm.
And it could be something else that's causing that. So it's whether you want to tell me what you're dealing with or you don't want to tell me what you're dealing with, I'm not going to limit it to just one thing. I'm going to ask for your entire body to be touched, emotionally, physically, spiritually, body, mind, and soul, and just give it up to God.
Yeah. Well, it definitely has over the past year and a half or almost a year.
So
Yeah.
when you went into it and you wrote those words to me, was that an intention that you were releasing then?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so that's what I always say, like, let's place our
Mhm.
intention out. But
Mhm.
then what you did is you released it and just relaxed and received. So at that
Yes.
point, you let go of your expectations because you put your
Mhm.
intentions out there and then you trusted.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think it's very important for people to hear that. It's like, don't be
Yeah.
sitting there
Trust
the
that.
entire time like this, clenched up. Is she going to say it? Is she going to say it?
Yeah.
Remove
Yeah.
your mind, come from your heart, just breathe. I think breathing's really important as you're receiving and
Yeah.
relax and let God do the work. Let go and let God. I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I know it's hard from a human's point of view to just let that go, but I think what helped me was just, yeah, breathing and relaxing. Maybe have some tea before the session, so you'd be like, I'll just take what I can get. And I think for the other ones that I came to, they were also kind of vague intentions with some sort of a subject theme, right?
Right.
But it's more like I know I have to do all these things and I'm having tough trusting in myself that I am this person, right? So even something like that. So I've received some things through your group sessions, even just the trusting of myself, um, and knowing where I was storing it in my body was huge as well. So
You mentioned you had fear and
mhm,
frustration, why is my body going through this? And
mhm,
being a single mom
mhm.
and that's scary, that's fearful. And so you let go of that fear and frustration during that time, which is not easy. That I'm not saying that people
No,
need to,
yeah,
you need to still feel it, you need to still go through it. But if you can come into a session and say, okay, I'm going to put that to the side right now,
yeah,
that's so wonderful because I think fear and frustration also is part of limiting, right? You're
for
not
sure, for sure,
breathing and you were breathing. I'm going to breathe this in. I'm accepting this. I'm going to be
yeah,
present in this moment. And I
yeah,
think it's important people say that. It's like, shut
yeah,
off the brain, let
yeah,
the brain receive what it needs,
yeah.
and just trust. Trust,
Yeah.
like you said, you learned how to trust.
Plant medicine has also helped me release and relax and shut it off. that's been part of my journey too. So, because it's not easy, right? It is not easy to let that part of your brain go. So I've been learning along the way. So
And I think that's great for viewers to hear. Like there are other things that you can use and trust it, see what's right for you. And you're doing everything for you because you love yourself. And then when
right.
you love yourself, then you can love another fully and you can be fully present for them. Saying that the plant medicine works for you,
Yeah.
it might work for somebody else too. And not be
Yeah.
fearful from it. Just trust your own inner guidance. It may or may not be for you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I just want to be a good human and a good mom.
I can tell that you are. You resonate such beautiful light.
Thank you.
Yeah. If there's anything that you would say to somebody that might be on the fence, like, could this really work? Should I do this? Is it worth doing? What would you say?
I would say you have nothing to lose. Try one group session and start there and see what transpires. I mean, just and if you don't want to have an intention, just and instead of stressing about an intention, and then just focus on relaxing instead and put all your effort there and just go for it. So,
Come have the experience of the
yeah,
unknown,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because sometimes that's easier than than trying to like what because sometimes I go to sound baths and I'm like, I don't have an intention. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't need one. What I find interesting too is you trusted even when you didn't know if you trusted. You let go.
Yeah, I think my second session was about just trusting because I that's definitely a big lesson I came here to learn in this incarnate is to trust. So um yeah, and I needed help. I needed some help with that from the surgeons. So when they assisted me.
Yeah, I'm just so happy with the results that you received and that you're willing to speak and
Yeah,
share them
of
and give
course.
other people that this can happen to them too, whether they
Absolutely.
believe or they don't believe, right?
It's
I mean,
true.
I mean,
Surrender.
I think people, yeah, totally surrender. I think what people don't understand is they can come in and just let everything go. If I stood there and go, oh my gosh, and I took all that heaviness that I just prayed about and owned it, instead of releasing it and giving it to God, I would be a basket case going,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
whoa, this is too much to hold, right?
Much, yeah.
But so they have to realize, okay, well, if she can do it,
Yeah.
you can do it.
We can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
one person and you take on like however many are in your group. So
So I know I'm voicing it, giving it, surrendering it, and just letting God use me as the vessel. And it's so beautiful to hear how that
absolutely.
energy touched you.
Oh, I loved it. I was just like, I've sent people your way since actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're a true
Yeah.
miracle. And now you're doing the work yourself.
Yeah. 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 It's quite the journey.
I know I get to be on your podcast, so why don't you tell people a little bit what you're doing now?
Yeah, thank you. So I have the podcast Love of One. And each week we drop a new episode of a different modality. So when we're talking about ways that you can release and heal yourself and step into your power and step into your self-care is through different modalities. And I'm just creating a library for people as a reference to go back and see and hear real stories and they're all they're all personal stories of mine woven into each one. So each episode is someone who's helped me on my journeys, me giving back to them.
That's
So
beautiful. That's evidential because you're
yeah,
speaking from what really happened and transpired so people know that it's firsthand, right?
yeah,
It's giving credibility to like me being interviewed by you and
uh-huh.
then allowing people to trust it because you
Yeah,
trusted it. So it's really beautiful. So you're doing amazing work to show how healing can happen in so many different ways and that it's there for you. So thanks for creating that library.
of course. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
glad to be part of it.
yeah, me too. Thank you.
All
Glad
right.
we
Well,
can work
thank you
out.
for
Thank
sharing
you.
with everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless you too.